Everybody loves a choice, especially when they come out ahead. So what if I told you that after weeks of sheltering in place, even if you spent the entire time watching TV, there's still a way to feel as if you were on the front lines saving lives? Well, you can. And it all starts with an unprecedented glimpse into what may very well become 2020's brightest of silver linings. At first, nothing about this parking lot seems out of the ordinary. But I assure you, this building's been closed since mid-March. So why are there multiple cars here? Take a good long look, America, because this is the unknown variable in the blue-collar homeless equation. For decades, experts could only speculate as to their true numbers, and this is why. Many of the residents here, whether it's pride or the stigma attached to their personal situation, have never been to an actual shelter. And because of this, they never get counted as a statistic. And because of that, they receive no help. Now, as a result of the COVID lockdown, they've been stripped of the bustling commerce and dozens of other cars that usually camouflage them. And as you can see, their numbers are too large to ignore. This parking lot alone has 35 to 40 souls residing in it, and while they come from different backgrounds, nearly all of them share one thing in common. They're employed. Despite this, and their willingness to go the extra mile, they're still casualties of an economic war. Whether they're recent divorcees with half incomes, or those who are forced onto the streets by a competitive housing market, they just don't make enough. And as a result, they've been discarded to suffer in silence. Believe me, I speak from experience. I lived in this very parking lot for 6 grueling months. And during that time, I became intimately familiar with the darker aspects of the emotional spectrum. Imagine, if you will, a level of stress so high and endured for so long that you could be walking through a forest surrounded by beauty, yet still feel as if somebody had tied your hands behind your back, tossed you into the deep end of a pool, and then just stood there as you struggle to keep your head above water. That's what it feels like to be homeless. Now it's 7 years later, and quite honestly, I'm happier than I've ever felt in my life. But my conscience has seen better days, and this is why. Driving past the parking lot, I immediately noticed that the population of people sleeping in their cars had doubled since 2013. And that happened during an economic upswing. So let's be honest with each other for a second. Given all the news that you've taken in over the past couple months, double-digit numbers of unemployment, trillions of dollars in debt, and local businesses going under daily, do you honestly think that this is going to go away by itself? Or are we actually headed towards a hot mess unlike anything we've ever seen in recent memory? I agree. I'm no financial analyst, but even I know that nearly 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And if that second, fiercer wave of COVID hits in the fall, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need help. Which brings us to that choice that we were talking about earlier. If you want to take back your 2020 and feel like a true hero, don't wait for our current infrastructures to become overwhelmed. Instead, follow these 3 easy steps. First, pick a charitable organization or church one with a proven track record of feeding and administering care to the homeless. Preferably one with an outreach program comprised of caring individuals who will actually hit the streets and find spots like this. After that, donate as much or as often as you feel comfortable with. If money's tight, donate your time, volunteer when safe to do so, and see how great it feels to reconnect with your community. And last but definitely not least, forward this video to anybody and everybody that you possibly can, and I can't stress this enough. This is a no strings attached grassroots effort at helping the homeless and preparing for a possible recession. And if you're still not on board, remember, rising rates of homelessness also correlate to increases in crime and violence. So when you and countless others contribute to this effort, you're not just pulling people back from the brink of despair, you're making this nation a safer place. And that's a silver lining that we can all get behind. Look, there's no telling how bumpy the future might get, but together we can help cushion the impact and show the world that we're all essential. So make 2020 the year of the choice and put yourself back in the driver's seat.